Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Colleen at crackedfemalecode.com. My book, Cracked Female Code, is on sale right now. Normally, it is $60. Now it's on sale for $29 for the month of April only. All right, so let's get going. So here's the deal. A lot of you are not going to like, you're not going to like what I'm about to say. I had some red wine, so I got, my tongue's red and stuff. So here's the deal. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Women look at the average man, not the majority, but a lot over 50% of men, that is a majority, over 50% of men, as on the spectrum of autism. Did you ever see the movie Rain Man with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman? Yep. Not that extreme, but on the spectrum. So it's kind of like saying, well, I'm only a little retarded. So here's the deal. I'm going to do my best to explain this. What you consider intelligence, women consider what's wrong with him. You think that logic is intelligence. I am telling you. Oops, sorry about that. Sorry, I'm holding this. I had surgery on my shoulder. I don't like holding it with my left hand, so it's kind of painful. So here's the deal. You think logic is intelligence. Logic is literally in-the-box thinking. It's the closed system. Like literally, and that's what it's called in psychology and in other sciences. It's the closed system. The right brain is the open system. It's the aware system. Now, as we go back 80, 90, 100 plus years, men had to be aware. The right brain is the open, expansive awareness brain. Now, if you think of peripheral vision, no, that's literally about 3% of what I'm talking about. The techniques I'm going to teach you are going to expand you open. You're going to be like, holy shit, I didn't even know this was possible. If the further you go back, the more men had to use their awareness brain for taking care of their animals. They had to tune in to know if their cow was sick and if they needed something, if something was wrong, okay? For fighting wars, for hunting, you had to tune in. You had to have your senses, your sensory. You know how women are always talking about, how do they use the word? I'm looking for a man who's tuned in. That's what she's talking about. Your five senses. The right brain is the five senses brain. A man who is tuned in can tune into her emotions and feelings. Can tell like, oh, she's not in a good mood, or oh, she's sick. Or now, why is this important? Because it's good for hunting. It's good for survival. It's also good for knowing when other men are trying to pull a fast one on you. So now here's the deal. As we moved forward and we got to around 1891, I forget when the internal combustion machine, the Industrial Revolution happened, right? So we got the train, we got money. So we started becoming more and more left brain at that point. Now we got taxes, more and more left brain. We became more educated, more left brain. Once we hit around 1890 or whenever that was when the Industrial Revolution hit, men became very left brain. You didn't have to rely on your five senses to hunt and feed your family anymore. As we moved forward, it became you went to school. I think it used to be like 3 hours a day. Then it was 4. Then it was 6. And now you're going to college. Now this and now that. And it used to be we only had to go to school till like 5th grade. Then it was 8th grade. Then it was 12th grade. Now it's college to survive in the modern world, because the modern world is left brain. The problem now, and it's conditioned men to become more and more left brain. The problem is, from the right brain's perspective, that looks and sounds autistic as fuck. You're in this little box and this is what you see, and you're like, no, this is reality. Logic is not reality. Logic blocks out 96% of all reality. Logic is used for the scientific method. What does the scientific method do? The first thing it does is it deletes all of reality. You take one bacteria and you combine it with a chemical or with a vitamin or with some kind of something to see how it interacts. You literally have to have the water that you put it in that little petri dish or whatever, or that little glass slides you put underneath the microscope. That water has to be, I think it's 96 point something percent pure. In other words, you have to get rid of all of the impurities, meaning all of reality. That's left brain thinking. And you whittle it down to A or B. You got A testing against B. It's called A and B testing. That's not reality, but you walk around saying, I'm in reality. And women look at men like, guys, I know this. I also teach a course called Why Men Just Don't Get It. I help women understand why men don't get it. You know what women have said to me for almost 30, I think, been teaching that course about 30 years. So let's say 30 years. After they get to know me and they're like, man, you really know, and they'll say this, you really know what you're talking about. Here's what they'll tell me. They're like, what's wrong with men? Like, why don't they get it? Why don't they see? Why don't they hear? Why don't they? There's a bunch of things going on. So go watch the movie Rain Man. You may not seem that extreme because you're not, but you're still on the spectrum. Again, it's like saying, well, I'm just a little retarded. No, it's not very good. So what do women respect? So you have to understand, when they take Rain Man home to their family and their girlfriends and their friends, they're ashamed. When you're on the autistic spectrum, they're ashamed. Now, you don't have to be, because what I do is I teach men how to open up to the right brain, which means you're not autistic. Autism is extreme left brain. So the further you go over there, the more you get stuck there, the more you seem like you don't get it. All right? Women respect right brain communication. They also respect right brain social skills. That's what triggers their mating system, because those are the men that get along with other men. They have a bigger picture awareness. They see how the pieces fit together. The left brain can't do that. It only sees one piece at a time because it narrows down. Literally, your pupils get small, and the pupils pull together, and they aim down at a little point, like you're looking down a scope of a rifle, like a little scope, and you're looking at a little crosshair, and that blocks out, again, all reality. That's the way men think. That's the way men talk. That's the way men are. So when you become very logical, you're very proud of talking through your nose, but you don't realize it because you've been doing it your whole life. What are you talking about, Mike? When I teach you how to open up, and then you go back in it, and you go, oh shit, I hear it now. Every single client I've worked with will call me up 2 months, 3 months later, 5 months, 6 months later, say, Mike, I'm trying to explain this to my friends, but they don't get it. Okay, I'll give you an example. One of my clients in the Midwest, in Kansas, he called me up months later. He's like, my buddy walks up to me and says, hey, what's the deal with you and the girls? Like, I don't understand. Like what's going on? He goes, oh, I took this Mike Colleen guy's course. He goes, I talk to women all the time. And I goes, yeah, I noticed. He goes, what is it? He goes, I try to explain the left and right brain connection and communication. He's, oh, that guy's full of shit. I'm like, and he's like, Mike, no matter how, and yet he came up to me another day and goes, like, why are you talking about, why is that girl talking to you? I don't understand. He goes, and I'll try to explain it to him again. And then he'll say, oh, you're full of shit. That guy's full of shit. And he goes, Mike, they don't realize they're seeing me get results. And they're coming up to me and asking me, what's the deal? And when I try to tell them, then they act like they didn't see the results. And that's the male brain. You block out reality. The male brain blocks out reality. If you really want to learn and get your shit together and be 1 out of 1 million men, it's more than that. It's probably 1 out of 10 million, maybe 1 out of 100 million on the planet that actually gets it when a woman and can hear it in your voice, hear it in your language, and see it in your eyes and your body language. Buy my book, Cracked Vima Code. It's on sale right now. Normally $60. Now $29. Only till the end of April this month. Okay? Then come out and take the course. The amount of money you're going to spend on me coaching you, it's going to change your life. Okay, here's the other thing. I didn't even say this. Oops, sorry. I didn't even say this part. Here's the deal. When you open up, you're going to look at all the other men out there and you're like, what's wrong with them? And you're going to think it's just here where I live. I'm like, no, when you go home, you're going to see men differently. You're going to realize they're all like this. They're all narrow. They got blind. Here's another thing I say to women. You ever notice how men have like blinders on? Like they can only see directly in front of them. They're like, you mean like racehorses, how they have blinders on so they can only see? Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, I've been seeing that since I was a little girl. This isn't new to women. It's only going to be new to you. Go to crackedfemalecode.com and buy my book, Cracked Female Code.